that they were found dead inside a home here on the 200 block of Camden Lane. The whole situation kicked off a police chase that ended about 85 miles south of here with a person in custody.
Some crimes are more gruesome than others, but it's hard to imagine a more horrific deed than when a parent murders their own children. Brace yourselves, because the deeper we dive, the more sinister this case will get. Everything started with a very surreal and tragic 911 call.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I'm in Camden Lane. My husband's kids.
Okay, repeat the address for me one more time.
East Camden Lane.
Okay, verify what town?
Round Lake Beach, Illinois,
Okay.
60073.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I came home to take the kids, and they're all on the bed, and they're dead.
Okay, all right. How many children?
3.
Okay, one moment.
The woman making the call is Debbie Carrolls. On June 13th, 2022, after finishing work, she went to pick up her kids who were visiting their father. Little did she know that her whole world would come crashing down.
Females upstairs with the children.
You gotta get in there for rescue.
Let's just go in. Sir?
Just go in. I think we have 42 location.
Police!
Police department!
Police!
Coming up!
Coming out! 32 more seconds.
I got blood here.
There's blood all over.
Is there anybody else in the house, ma'am?
What?
Is there anybody else in the house?
I don't know.
What is going on? Okay.
Okay, ma'am, do you have any weapons?
No, I don't have
Okay,
any
I'm gonna have you step out here with me, okay?
Please.
Come out here.
Step out of the room.
Okay, come out here. Okay, ma'am. We got one coming down.
Okay, all right. Is fire coming in?
Yes, they're okay to come in.
You want to come in?
Yeah, come on in. Okay, there's no way for us to avoid this, Bobby.
Okay.
You got your body cam on?
Yeah, I got my body.
I don't want to touch any of them, but they're not breathing.
The chilling scene these officers witnessed were the tiny bodies of Bryant Carrolls, age 5, Cassidy Carrolls, age 3, and Gideon Carrolls, age 2. They were lying lifeless on the bed. Here's a statement later released by Police Chief Gilbert Rivera.
Round Lake Beach police were called to a home in the 200 block of Camden Lane for a well-being check at 1:40 p.m. Monday by a mother who was supposed to pick up her children from her estranged husband. Upon arrival, the 3 children, ages 5, 3, and 2, were discovered deceased in the home. The resident, later identified as Jason E. Carrolls, 35 of the 200 block of East Camden Lane, was missing from the scene and immediately identified as a person of interest. Officers immediately put out recognizing information through Illinois State Police Emergency Radio Network, seeking Carrolls at his vehicle, a red 2010 Nissan Maxima. Simultaneously, police began the investigation into the deaths of the 3 young children, requested assistance from the Lake County Coroner's Office and evidence technicians from the Lake County Major Crime Task Force. While the investigation into the deceased children was being conducted, Illinois State Police spotted, then attempted to stop the suspicious 2010 Nissan on Interstate 57 and 115th Street in Cook County.
The hunt was on for Jason Carrolls, the man who committed the most vile crime imaginable. Police spotted him in his Nissan Maxima and engaged in pursuit. Carrolls then took police on a high-speed chase across multiple highways involving several police departments.
Steel Bridge coming up.
Steel Bridge coming up. Continuing. Vehicles off the roadway. Vehicles off the roadway here at.
He came all the way down, sorry.
Water Street in Duncan. Water Street, Duncan. Water Street in Duncan.
Where's he at?
Right down there.
I can't see. Can you see?
I got no eyes on him. Got no eyes on him.
After fleeing police for around 17 minutes, Carroll's crashed his car in this wooded area. The officers had him surrounded, so there was nowhere left to run. It was a miracle he survived, considering the damage to his mangled vehicle.
Johnny may have a knife.
Don't move, man. Don't move.
Can you see his hands?
Yeah. Put your hands here. Keep them up. No, I'm not going to shoot you.
You want to get him cuffs? Get his hands up?
I got
Yeah.
him. Don't
Man,
even want
put your hands.
Put your hands out the car. Put your other hand out the car.
All right, man, we're going to get you out. Sit tight. Don't move. I don't know if anything's all right? Come welcome back or something. We'll not move before we mess with you, okay? What's your name? Jason? Yeah, Jason. What's going on, man?
It's unclear if these officers fully knew what this guy'd done or why he was on the run in the first place. Regardless, they treated the man with respect and care. Even though he put their lives at risk, they still acted professionally.
Just leave your hands out the car, okay? Leave your hands out the car. Yep, just leave your hands out the car, okay?
No, I moved from out farther.
Okay, good.
We appreciate it, man. We can't move you right now just because we don't know the extent of your injuries, okay? We don't want to hurt you more than you already are. You got any weapons in the car?
No, sir, I don't know what.
No knives, no nothing.
My plan was to.
What? Leg right now, lacerations up on the arms and hands.
My plan was to drive.
Hey man, can you feel your feet?
A little bit.
Don't move your legs. Can you go your toes right now? Anything else hurt? You don't know? Alright.
The officers mentioned seeing lacerations on the suspect's hands. As you'll hear later on, he supposedly attempted to take his own life. That would also explain the large amount of blood found in the house. After failing once again to end his life by crashing his car, Jason decided to come clean.
What's that? That's good, man. Hey, the good news is you didn't hurt anyone. I mean, besides yourself. Oh, that's good. Yeah. What's that? Thank you. Your kids? What are your kids' names? Were they at home?
There's only one in the car, right?
What's that? Sorry?
They tried to put him in. I woke up, and all of a sudden, they were dead.
Many well-known sociopaths, such as Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, claim to be disconnected or detached from their bodies as they committed their crimes. This type of dissociative experience is possible. Most experts, however, are skeptical about it and generally view it as an attempt to evade responsibility for their actions.
After being extricated from the vehicle by firefighters, Corrales was transported with injuries to a nearby hospital before being transported again to another hospital where he remained in custody overnight.
All right, bud. Hey, like I mentioned, man, my name's Detective Barrera. I'm with Round Lake Beach, okay? And obviously, you know what's going on. You know why we're here, why we want to talk to you, okay? And like I said, I appreciate you being super cooperative. Again, sorry about whatever is going on. Okay, so I gotta get through this. Okay, you'll be able to just sign the states I've read you your rights here. You understand your rights. Feel free to look them over.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry. One more
I
time.
know it sounds silly, but I always wanted to be a cop, and
Really?
so I started doing GTA RP as a police officer. So I've read Marine rights like the house.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I know it's just a video game, but it was.
No, I hear you.
It's downright stomach-churning to hear this guy casually talk about playing video games and even wanting to be a police officer after brutally snuffing out the lives of his own children.
Steve Newton, NEWTON, Chief Deputy with the Lake County Coroner's Office.
I let go of my dreams to try to provide for my family, so.
We did conduct autopsies this morning on the 3 children.
I dropped out of college when I was going to be a high school math teacher.
Oh, no kidding.
And I just received word the 3rd one has been completed and that the preliminary cause of death in all 3 children is consistent with drowning.
Listen to how this pathetic excuse for a human being tries to paint himself as the victim, even after committing an act unthinkable to normal people. His words and his tone show no remorse, only self-pity, as if he's the one who deserves sympathy. Not surprisingly, he tries to blame everything on his estranged wife, Debbie.
Since we met each other, I've always complained about how she makes up things to justify how she treats me.
Okay.
And I put up with it because I have no self-worth. And she's always like manipulated me and they put me down and been mean to me. And the only time like I've really been mean to her is when it's like I'm not even being mean. It's more like it's like she says something mean or rude that's not true to hurt me. So I say something mean back because I know if I say something mean, she'll tell me the truth. It's really weird. It was a relationship, but I was depressed a lot, but I didn't always feel until we actually got married.
You'd think Debbie must have done something truly terrible to provoke such a horrible response from him. But according to Jason, it was just quote-unquote little things, like scolding him for staying at a friend's house playing video games till 2 a.m.
I don't know, it just felt like she would try to paint me. She would paint me as this bad, terrible person to make herself feel better for how she felt about herself.
Okay.
I also wanted to be a psychologist. That was my 3rd dream job.
You guys are married still, from my understanding, or?
We're separated.
You guys are separated, but legally still married?
I found out the day before yesterday that she cheated on me and left me for another guy the day after my birthday.
Okay.
And then she's been keeping the kids from me. But she claims that she hasn't. But the truth is I thought she was keeping the kids from me. But the truth is she was seeing somebody instead of like calling me with the kids. And you know what I'm saying? Like so like I'd be expecting I was trying to give her space because obviously I still wanted to be with her and everything.
It's understandable that Jason felt hurt and was angry with his wife, as from time to time, most couples go through rough patches. However, what no sane person can comprehend is how this guy could take the lives of his children just to punish her. Didn't these kids mean anything to him? What's clear here is this man's bruised ego matters more to him than the innocent lives he destroyed.
I feel like it's not that she didn't love me, it's that she doesn't love herself. So, but she takes it out on me to make herself feel better. If I'm being honest with you, sir, like I know, I don't know why I did what I did, but like I know what I told myself when I did it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
what was that?
And it was like that they deserved to be with me, and that I felt like she was neglecting them, and I wanted. For some reason, I thought it was okay to hurt them too. I don't know why I did that. Like, I thought we would be together, like, you know, in whatever's after this life, like, you know. And, like, the whole time I was trying to get home, I kept telling myself, they're waiting for you. You have to be with them.
Jason's warped sense of reality led him to create delusions that justified his actions. In his mind, what he chose to do seemed reasonable. What fueled these fantasies was his own self-pity. As if the murders weren't enough, he topped it off by leaving a note behind for his wife.
I don't know why. I've never been like that before.
Okay.
And I said, I left her like a note and stuff, and like most of it was just like trying to be like, I don't know.
Was it something that you wanted for her to feel your pain or in that sense, or you know?
Say yes or no to that, honestly. I don't think so.
Okay. What exactly?
Honestly, I just didn't want to be in pain. And I think I told myself that, and you'll actually hear it in the last time we talked. I told her, it's like, if I'm not around, you're just going to start taking it out on them, and they don't deserve that. And I think I felt like I was saving them. I don't know why.
Saving them in what sense?
From going through the pain that I did.
The depths of depravity in this man's mind are truly disturbing. In a twisted way, he convinced himself that he was somehow saving his kids, as though his actions were merciful rather than monstrous.
Kind of walk me through today, Jay. No, don't be sorry. Just kind of walk me through today, kind of what was going on. How were the kids? Were they joyful, playful?
They were awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they wasn't like frustrated.
No, like this was yesterday and the day before.
What was?
I did everything I did. I started doing this morning at 1 a.m.
So 1 a.m. is when everything happened.
Yes, sir.
So then what kind of happened? What kind of triggered you after the phone call ended? Were the babies were kids sleeping, or were they up?
We were
Everybody
watching TV, and then I knew I had to give him a bath.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like I just, something in my brain snapped because of the things she said to me on the phone.
Jason mentioned that around midnight, he spoke to his estranged wife on the phone, and while he claimed the conversation ended amicably, it appears to have been a catalyst, and it sent the man into a dark and downward spiral. He was pushed over the edge by something in that exchange.
What was it that she said?
It's weird because she did say some nice things to me in the end, but it's like, she said that I was nothing, that I deserved nothing, that I was a terrible father, a terrible husband, and like all these things. And it was like, I don't know, like something snapped in me, and like, and I know that makes it seem like I was trying to get back at her, but it was like, it was never about getting back at her. It was about as it sounds, was doing something for myself.
Okay.
And like, that's what I told myself.
Yeah.
Like,
what was that thing that you were doing for yourself?
Was them so we could be together forever.
Okay. Did you plan this out? Did you already have an idea of how you wanted to do this? Did it take some time for you to do it?
No, I started giving him a bath, and for some reason I said we're gonna do it one by one, and I did one by one, and then I tried to.
Okay, so you while who was the first one you gave a bath to? The youngest?
Yeah.
Okay. Now who's the oldest? Mm-hmm. Okay,
Where was he?
Yeah.
They were watching TV.
Okay. Did at any point in time did they come in and see anything?
No,
did they?
I refused to let them see anything because I don't know why, but I shut their door and I shut the bathroom door, and then I would put the child in the computer room on the futon mattress to dry off, so then that way once they were dry I could dress them so they weren't naked wherever we were going.
At the hands of their father, these 3 children met a horrifying end. If there's any small mercy here, it's that none of them had to witness each other's fate.
Maybe something snapped in me because like I couldn't handle being cheated on, and I couldn't handle being away from my kids so much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So then, same thing?
Yeah, and I don't know why I didn't stop. I don't know why I went with all 3. Like, you would think that I'd do one, and then I'd be like, oh my God, what have I done? But it didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't cry once until it didn't really dawn on me what I had done until I flipped my car and the cops asked me if I knew what I had done. Mm-hmm. And then I just started crying.
He likely cried only because he got caught. No matter what he said, this wasn't some split-second decision. It was a series of deliberate decisions, and it stretched on for hours. The chilling reality is that he had countless moments to stop, but he still pushed onward.
I don't know, I don't know. I can't say for certain that I realized that what I had done at that moment, it's possible that I was crying because I couldn't be with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like it didn't really dawn on me until like at some point after that.
Okay.
At some point after I'd gotten into the accident.
Yeah. Okay. And then you placed them all in the
on the futon in the computer room.
You let them dry out.
And
you
let
said.
them dry off.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the messed up part about it all is like I didn't realize what I was doing to them, and I didn't realize what I was doing to myself either. But I think subconsciously I did, like to myself, because then after that was done, I got so nervous, like because I knew I was next.
The moment he started to get nervous was the moment Jason realized it was his turn to die. But unsurprisingly, when it came down to it, he was too much of a coward to follow through. What he says next, though, will truly blow your mind.
Yeah. And then I went into the garage and I smoked like 10 cigarettes.
Okay.
And it wasn't, and I know it wasn't because of what I had done. It was because I knew I was preparing myself, calming myself down so that I could, because I don't know if, like, you don't, like, the fact that I actually, actually was able to.
Where'd you try to that?
In the downstairs, there's a bathroom door and a closet door right next to the stairs. And, I had, I blacked out, and then I woke up, and the door had come off the hinges and the extension cord had kind of sliced the door in half a little bit.
Okay.
You'll hear the man say that he blacked out several times. So imagine how long it took for the man to drown 3 children, one by one, dry them off, go to the garage to smoke 10 cigarettes, and then pass out several times while attempting to end his life in several different ways.
He attempted suicide. How? What did he do?
He had attempted, made several attempts at suicide. I can tell you that without disclosing those at this moment, there was a lot of indications at the scene. There was blood. The blood was not of the children. So there were multiple things that he had done and disclosed. At this point, as I mentioned, it's still ongoing. We will have those details for you hopefully shortly. But he did make statements as well on body camera as far as wanting to hurt himself.
Does he have a history of mental illness?
We are unaware of that.
Let's turn back to the 2 officers questioning Jason. It took remarkable restraint for them to sit through his questioning without reacting. Most of us surely couldn't have done so. But when one officer pressed him about his lousy attempt at taking his own life, that's when Jason dropped another bombshell, one that only makes his crimes so much more horrific.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get an understanding of how it was, because doorknobs are, low, right? Usually when someone something from like
that's why it was over the door.
Up over the door?
Yeah,
and then you were.
And I also
was there a chair?
I was low enough that I could drop to my knees because I have a problem with like I almost drowned when I was a kid, so like I can't stand feeling like I can't breathe, so I have to be able to. I was hoping I would black out before I couldn't breathe, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So imagine the wickedness this man possessed. After a near drowning experience as a child, he developed a debilitating fear of not being able to breathe, and yet he inflicted that very same nightmare on his own children. You're probably thinking that it couldn't possibly get any worse than that, but it actually does.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah. So I did what I did with them, and then I smoked the cigarettes, and I played a game of Hearthstone on my phone while I was smoking. Because again, like it wasn't like to me, I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? It was just a normal, like, I don't know. Not that it was anything far from normal, but I think you get what I mean. So I played a game of Hearthstone, and then, because I knew I had to, like, I mean, and I knew they were drying off, like, you know, so I...
You said you played a game of Hearthstone?
On my phone.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
It's a card game called Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you believe it? After killing his 3 children, he actually sat down and played a card game on his phone as if nothing had happened. And while he's saying all this to the officers, he sounds like he expected empathy from them. It's hard to fathom this level of detachment and lack of remorse.
So I come to, and I think I was on the ground for maybe like 2 minutes, like that I lost track of time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I come to, and like I see that it's broke and everything, and like I remember like waking up, like struggling to come back, like thinking, I don't know, like I just remember like fighting to come back, and then I don't know, it was weird. It was like I was fighting myself too, like telling myself, no, just go. Like, your kids are waiting for you, just go, stop fighting.
Thankfully, he didn't succeed in taking his own life. As strange as that might sound, his survival means that instead of an easy way out, he will have to face the consequences of his actions. Had he ended his life, his plan would have worked out, but the family would be left without answers or justice.
The most important thing to me were the kids, and he knew that. He knew that nothing mattered to me but those children. And he took them away from me because he knew that would hurt me the most. He always told me he couldn't do anything to his children. My beef was with you, not with the children. So I never worried about the children because you love your children and you should never do anything to your children. So it's like it was me. It was a different story. And I just had so much faith, so much love that it would all work out in the end. And it didn't. I just wish I was there for them that day. I wish I was there to grab them before this all happened. I should have stuck to my guns and not had their father see them, but you know, I thought what was right is that the father should be involved, the father should see them. He always said he would never do anything to the kids, you know, never thought anything of it. And I have regret every day of my life.
While the mother was going through the most devastating day of her life, her estranged husband continued nonchalantly recounting his horrific actions. As if the story couldn't get any darker, he casually mentioned that after his failed attempt to take his own life, he simply went out for another smoke.
And I smoke another couple of cigarettes in the garage, and then I go upstairs and I close all 3 of them and put them in the bed. And then I put the blankets on them and everything, and I kissed them all. And I said, Daddy will be with you soon, don't worry.
Did you clothe them?
Yeah, I put diapers on them, the ones that needed diapers, underwear on the... and then I put pajamas on them all.
Put pajamas on all of them? Okay. And then you brought them into another room?
I didn't. There was 2 reasons, honestly, and like... I'm probably giving, like a lawyer if I was saying I'm giving way too much detail, but it's like I'm just trying to be honest. But I didn't want them to be naked when they were found, and I didn't want them to be naked wherever we were going.
Yeah.
At least that's what I told myself.
Yeah.
He claimed that after that, he then made his way to the bathroom for yet another attempt to take his own life. However, even that failed, as the wounds on his wrists kept closing up, thwarting his efforts. It's unsettling to think that he was so intent on escaping responsibility, yet nothing seemed to go according to his twisted plan.
About 20 minutes had gone by, and I'm like, this is taking forever. There's no way, like, so then I did, because I wanted to be with my children, and it was taking too long. I would walk to the bed and I would lay down with the kids, and then I'd be like, no, I have to go with them, like they'll see me soon, I have to make sure this works. So then I would get back up and go back to the bathroom and make sure it was still bleeding.
Yeah.
And just like rinsing and repeating, I would pass out for maybe like a few minutes, and I would just go back to doing that because I really wanted to be with them and I didn't want to let them down. Like, I want you to know I know what I did, but I'm talking.
I understand.
To you
Oh man. Yeah.
The mindset, because it also makes it easier to talk about to try to get back into that mindset. Because when I admit to myself what happened is when I start to cry.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, he's been talking about what he did for a long time now, and yet he never really cried. He did choke up a few times, but that was the full extent of his emotional reaction to this horrific crime. Continuing to tell his story to police, he told about his third attempt to quote-unquote join his children.
So about 6 a.m., I had the bright idea, you know what, this isn't working. I'll go drive to the beach and I'll swim as deep as I can and try.
Okay.
And then I got there and I turned around. I'm like, no, I can't leave my kids. I'm doing this for them. Anyway, so I keep, and like, you know, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock now. And then I lay down. I laid down in bed because I was exhausted. I was so close, but like I couldn't keep doing it anymore. Like I was just tired, and I think I passed out for about half hour, maybe an hour. You can do this. Like you do it for your kids, do it for your children. They're waiting for you. Like I honestly, like looking back, I sounded like a madman.
After numerous failures, Jason realized that his wife would be coming soon, so he panicked and decided to try one more time. But if you listen to what he says, it's obvious he was fooling himself. He really wasn't going to go through with it, was he?
Then the game plan turned into, you know what? I can't be here. I can't be here when she gets here because I don't want to hurt her. Like I can't be here when she gets here. I'm just going to go drive my car as fast.
Okay.
And then, so I started driving down. I went to
what time is this now?
About 1:30.
About 1:30.
I started driving down 294 on the expressway, and I thought to myself, there's too many people. I can't cause an accident. There's too many people. So then I decided to drive to Chicago. And I was like, you know what, the biggest building I can get on. And then I like reasoned with myself and I said, Jason, you're afraid of heights. How are you supposed to build up the courage to do that if you can't? So then I thought to myself, well, I'm in Chicago, maybe I'll try to trade my car for a gun.
And that shows just how serious he was about taking his own life. He was vacillating between ropes and guns. This guy was even thinking about going to a bad neighborhood and getting himself smoked. But even that plan had a problem.
And then I started thinking, I was like, but I don't want people to think that I'm a racist because I'm asking, hey, where's the bad neighborhoods at around here?
I understand.
And also I started driving south on the expressway, and I told myself, I'll just stop at the first rest stop, and I'll wait until nighttime when there's like hardly any cars on the road, and I'll just do it then. And then Vegas saw me before that had happened, but I drove, and then finally I saw a barricade with a forest behind it, and I'm like, and now, I mean, obviously, I wish I'd never done any of it.
Yeah.
But I should have just turned myself in.
And after everything, he still doesn't feel sorry for taking his children's lives. As he said, he's only sorry for not turning himself in. It's no surprise at all that this tragic story gripped the entire country.
It's unknown what is the actual appropriate response, right, when something like this happens. Our prayers and our hearts, and I'll apologize because going outside, I did speak with the mother. And again, all I can say is that we really support her, and we're going to do our best job for her. Based on the evidence and statements captured by police via a body-worn camera, the Lake County State's Attorney's Office today, approved 3 charges of first-degree murder. Carroll's is currently being transported to Lake County and expected to appear in Lake County Bond Court at some point when able. The Lake County State's Attorney's Office has indicated additional charges could be filed against Carroll's when the investigation is completed.
Breaking now, the father charged with 3 kids in Round Lake Beach has been moved to the Lake County Jail. Jason Carrolls is expected to appear in bond court tomorrow morning. He is charged in the deaths of his children ages 5, 3, and 2.
A grand jury later indicted Carrolls on a total of 9 first-degree murder charges. Included with the charges were intent to kill, knowing the acts will cause death or great bodily harm, and creating a strong probability of death by great bodily harm. Jason Carroll initially pleaded not guilty to the charges. However, he later changed his plea to guilty but mentally ill to 3 counts of first-degree murder.